Wow. Now, you were stating earlier about making America healthy again. What's your thoughts on President Trump putting Robert RFK Jr. into place?
So here's what I like about RFK. One, he seems authentic, and I love authenticity. I also, he really put his social capital on the line back in the day. He was a darling, if you remember, back in the day when he was suing about environmental stuff, and everyone loved him. But when he came out with questioning the safety of vaccines, and particularly the impact that vaccines have on Black male children, um, he got called a heretic and a tinfoil hat wearer and all this kind of stuff. Is when he kind of, if I recall correctly, when he kind of lost his shine and his throne in the eye of the American populace. The vaccine industry, the medical industry, the R&D, research and development for medicines, it's a major economic player. Also dependent on government in a way, because of the way that the FDA approves this stuff is really weird and unreliable. Or I should say it's not consistent with a full vetting, because you can change an element of a previously approved drug and or physical device, and then the new iteration gets approved, and it just keeps adding on and adding on. It's like, yeah, this weird pile-on thing. But I like it because he shakes things up, because he asks questions that I think should have been posed in the first place. Do I agree with everything he says? Not necessarily. Some things I want to see more data about. He is certainly, even though he's a Kennedy, this feels weird to say because he's a Kennedy, he's sort of a political outsider in a way. And that means that he doesn't have any friends that he's afraid to say no to. That really does matter. If your buddies that you golf with and you've been going to their, backyard parties and sending them and their wife, happy anniversary greetings and all that kind of stuff. It matters if you're so locked into the system that you're supposed to be supervising, supposed to be regulating, if the people you're regulating are your friends. Most people don't want to lose their friends. And so they're not going to do what needs to be done when their friends are a danger to the American public. So I like it. I am hoping that the lawsuits that he is facing, including the pediatricians who are currently, I think, suing him about taking the COVID vaccine off of the pediatric schedule. I hope all that works out in terms of the data being shown about if there is a correlation between any of the vaccines and any kind of untoward poor health outcomes. And if there's a way to prevent that, to me, that's the whole purpose.
I like them in place. I just think that just the attempt to take out some of the contamination, the chemicals, additives, dyes, seed oils, all of these things that are inherently, bad. Because if you go through a sort of spat through your life where you're getting healthy, you start to, read a lot of journals and look at a lot of video clips, and you try to become more informed about your health. And I've learned quite a bit. And some of the things he's talking about, I definitely agree with. I mean, growing up, we used to use lard and vegetable oil to cook in. And come to find out, vegetable oil, seed oils, all those things are harmful. Like, they just degrade. And these are some of the cancer-causing substances that we're taking, and they give alternative forms. I'm not trying to promote anything, but I do agree with a lot. But to your point, I don't agree with absolute everything.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably the best in that position I've seen since I could remember. So, I mean, since, I could be to a point where I like, what? He's for the American people.
Yeah. And I think he's pulling back curtains and pulling up rugs that no one has ever really done before. I do want to see more of the data. But then if it hadn't been questioned, this wouldn't even be a topic of conversation. We wouldn't be seeing the data anyway. We would just assume. And I would say I like that he is having people prove, having industry and product makers prove the impacts of what they're having us consume, like removing fake dyes and stuff like that. There are products that we consume in the United States that our American companies make that they won't sell in foreign countries because those countries have, banned those particular ingredients. Like, why are we putting, what is it, some kind of detergent or something in bread? Like, why? So I like that he's shaking that up. I think it's super important. We're so unhealthy. Many of us are obese. Many of us have metabolic disorders. They put sugar in everything in its various forms. And why? They knew that eggs weren't is a problem like they were saying. And so there needs to be some accountability and correction for that. And I'm glad he's there to shake that up.
Absolutely.